Good morning. This story was sent to me anonymously last night. It's called Creation's Glory, a love story for my neighbours. There was a woman who, for various reasons, was a bit of a recluse. Yet she was never lonely, probably because she talked to God a lot. Though God was her best friend, she felt she wanted to know God better, and so she was always trying to discover who or what God was. She knew some things, but the rest was a mystery. So she would look at the flowers in her garden and find God there. "You are beautiful," she would say, "every bloom different, such diversity, such works of art." The woman found God in the astonishing variety of the tiny creatures attracted to the colourful blooms. Here a stunning Christmas beetle, there a red-black ladybug, or sometimes a blue and black one. And now and again, under a leaf, she would find a rare yellow and black stripy one. "Glory be," she would cry, in the manner of her Irish grandmother, when surprised by something so unexpected. Occasionally, she would even spot a glorious and solitary native blue-banded bee. Finding these treasures all around her made her heart sing with happy thoughts. She saw the Creator of all things in them. She thought how much He must love variety and difference. She thought about how creative He must be. Sometimes at night she would float on her back in her little pool, mesmerized by the stars and planets lighting up the night sky. God's creativity is everywhere, she would think, extends to the far reaches of space and beyond. She thought too about the creatures of the sea, huge whales, for example, that would leap out of the air as if wanting to catch a glimpse of the world above the waves. She compared these giants of the deep to the tiny seahorse, as delicate as a feather. Great and small, He made them all, loving God. Why? Is it because you love creating? You love your creation? When she mused to herself in her garden, she would often catch a glimpse of attractive birds such as the pale-headed rosella. She learned these were very common where she lived, but she rarely saw them because they were so well camouflaged. She saw the rainbow lorikeet all the time, feeding in the top of the palm trees and often fighting with the noisy miners. But she rarely spotted these other pale-headed parrots, with colours similar to the peacock. She was always thankful to spot one. She fancied that they were even more aware of her than she was of them. All these things made her think of God. What was the mind of God like if He could dream up such magnificent creatures? Oh, if only she could just catch a glimpse of this flamboyant, amazing Creator. But then, she thought, perhaps I do every day. Perhaps every aspect of creation is such a glimpse. Maybe people, too, are such a glimpse. She began to see her neighbours as the expression of God's creativity, an expression of God's joy and love, as full of wonder as He was Himself. She remembered reading, "You knit me together in my mother's womb. I am fearfully and wonderfully made." She could not remember where she had read it. She thought of her neighbours being just as thoughtfully made. All things are sacred, she thought. How can I show how thankful I am for all this wonder and beauty? The woman asked herself. Then it came to her. She could use her uniqueness to exclaim it. So she wrote a story, because she loved to write stories. She posted her story in the letterboxes of everyone in her street. It was her way of saying, "I see you. I appreciate you. I see you as an expression of the great love that created you." Well, it's a wonderful story, isn't it? May we find inspiration from this story. And maybe if we're creative and we like writing, maybe we too can write a little story and post it in our neighbour's post box. Have a wonderful day and take some time to look at God's beauty and give thanks today.